Welcome to Slasher Sunday, yes. And before we get into the whole argument of, oh, this isn't a slasher movie, how about you go watch the hospital scene in this movie and tell me it's not just a condensed version of Halloween 2 from 1981. This has plenty of slasher elements in it. I'm counting it. I want to do it. I got the new Scream Factory Blu-ray in it. So I'm ready to talk about this film. This film that I love and have loved for a very long time. I will admit, while watching it this time, that I can absolutely see why people don't like this movie or why it kind of bombed. It's not great. You know, when I kind of step out of my own bias and my own nostalgia for it. But I still have my nostalgia and I still have my bias, so fuck it. I love it. You know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. Now this comes to us from the director of Tombstone. Yeah, the Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer fucking Tombstone, which is a phenomenal film. So it's kind of funny that he made this and he made Tombstone. And he also made First Blood, Part 2, Rambo. Alright, so the movie starts off with some really scary stats, like a murder every fucking 10 seconds, all that shit. And we've got Brian Thompson in here, who is arguably the scariest looking fucking guy I've ever seen in a movie. Like, we'll get to the hospital scene, but this dude is legit menacing. He looks fucking terrifying. He really does to me. There's the scene where Bridget Nielsen's character is driving past and she's like witnessing the murder. And when he looks at her, that look in his face is, I always consider it to be the scariest look I've ever seen anyone give. The guy just has this like dead gaze. And he looks like he wants to murder you. I dare you to find me a look in a guy's eyes that looks like he wants to murder you more than Brian Thompson's character in this movie. They just don't. I've never seen one. Now, I've seen some that look close or maybe equal, but more? I don't even know how you could look like you want to kill someone more. He really is just a fucking fantastic villain and completely overlooked when villains are ever brought up. Now, you people, oh, there's no depth or there's no real focus on his character, but you love Michael Myers. But you love Jason Voorhees, who literally just lumbers around and fucking kills people. Come on. So, when I look at this guy, and he has lines, he actually has depth. Now, what they're trying to achieve in this movie, this new, like, world order or whatever, I don't even know what the fuck they're going for. I don't know what the point is. They're going to kill people, they're going to send a message. I don't know. They're just killing people at random. I'm not really sure what the point of any of it is, but we don't really get to that. We get this opening here with the clanging of axes after the statistics. He's got a whole murder crew. You got a whole slasher, set of people here. It's wild, man. This is a total cult, and they're ready to just kill anyone at random. And then we get this guy who goes into the grocery store, who does he have anything to do with this group? I don't think so. I'm trying to think if he says anything about like the world order. Maybe he does. Fuck, I'm blanking on it. Whatever. So this guy is a disease, and then they send in Marion Cobretti, aka the Cure. He comes, man. I just love it. I mean, it's the fucking tagline of the movie, or for a reason, man. For a fucking reason. Because that is like my favorite line in this whole movie. No, you're a disease, and I'm the cure. I love it. I love it. That's just great, man. That's like perfect because this is 80s action. 80s action was all about taking the law into your own hands, saying fuck you to all the laws out there, and just becoming judge, jury, and executioner, which of course is ironic since he is Judge Dredd later on, which I haven't seen in so long. I just remember it being pretty damn goofy. But the Carl Urban Dredd is amazing. So, but anyway, I love how when that guy breaks into or I shouldn't say breaks into, but goes into the grocery store and starts shooting the place up. For one, he just starts shooting random things in the store, not people. I don't get that one. Why doesn't he just shoot people? It would have made a much more impactful opening. If he just walked in there and started blowing people away, that would have been amazing. But he only shoots one guy. I don't know. He shoots like produce, and then he shoots a shopping cart that goes straight up for some reason. Why wouldn't it push back? Like, the inertia is pushing it this way. So, like, huh? Like, straight up. Okay, why not? And then, so yeah, I think that's kind of a fault of the film. There should have been more bloodshed there, for sure. And then Cobretti, of course, comes in, and he send in the Cobra. And he walks in, and he cracks a beer, and he gets on the fucking, the sound system around the place, and he gets on there. He starts talking shit to the guy, pretty much egging him on to kill people. Then he breaks out, and for some reason the guy doesn't shoot him when he comes through the door like a wild man. That move doesn't really make any sense to me. He should have just snuck around and then fucking shot him before the guy could even see him there. I mean, he was coming there to kill him anyway. He had no plan to take this guy out of there alive. So, I mean, you might as well just send in a sniper. You know what I mean? So, silly. But regardless, he bursts through there and the guy doesn't shoot him. And he doesn't set off the bomb. But he was going to set off the bomb anyway. So why didn't bother doing it anyway? None of it makes any fucking sense. I don't care. It sets up the great line. And then Cobra does what he does best and wastes bad guys with his Cobra-plated gun. And then, of course, you got some guy outside who's like, "You're not playing by the rules, Cobretti. You're done for, man." And then, of course, he knocks this fucking guy out at the end of the movie. Typical. And there's a lot of one-liners in this movie, and they're really poor. They're really poor one-liners, but the nostalgia makes them not poor to me. But when I objectively look at them, I'm like, these are bad. These are bad lines. They're not funny at all. They don't hit at all. He's just trying to be Arnold here, is all of what it came down to. Him and Arnold were back and forth, trying to be the biggest and the best and the this and that. And so they, he was always following I guess they were following in each other's footsteps. One would make a movie, then the other one would try to top it, and so on and so forth. And the one-liners were more of Arnold's thing from the beginning, in my opinion. And then, he started to try to take that on. And Arnold's one-liners are just better for me, for sure. I actually laugh at Arnold's one-liners. He just delivers them better, I guess. Or they're better written. Then he pulls up to his house and he just fucks with gangbangers because he's just Cobretti and he doesn't give a shit. He rips a guy's shirt off and grabs a cigarette out of his mouth, and this guy just does not do a fucking thing. And then the next time he sees him, he's valeting his car for him. He's like, "Here you go, buddy." He's like, "Oh, you're a good citizen." Bullshit. They would have shot his ass to death. And then he's the only dude I know who eats pizza with a pair of scissors. So there you go. He's got that going for him. And dude, these guys go. This New World Order. These Night Stalkers, they go out and they hunt as a crew, and they just take these people on, one person versus 4 of these people with axes and this brutal knife that has these spikes all around the handle. That thing is fucking terrifying. When he goes in at that woman, he breaks into the car and he just goes at her with it. Woo, man, it's scary. It's scary. It's definitely, that's why I said this has got so many slasher elements. I know I did Terminator on here, and a lot of people disagreed with me on that one, but Arnold is a straight up slasher villain in that. I do not see it any other way. That is a fucking slasher film. Like, the entire structure of that film is a fucking slasher movie. And this film has so many slasher elements. I've always wanted to do it. Anyway, I'm not going to defend it anymore. You'll disagree with me in the comments, and I won't give a fuck at all. And then we've also got Bridget Nielsen in here from Rocky IV, and we've got her with robots, just like in Rocky IV. I don't know what's up with him and Bridget Nielsen and robots, but we got it again right here. And then I like how she's like walking out to her car, and some dude's following her around. I'm assuming it's like her manager or I don't know who the hell the guy is supposed to be, but he's like, all right, you need to sleep with me if you want your career to go anywhere. And she's just like trying to find her car, and he's like, look, it's not for me, it's for you. Like, you want your career to go somewhere, right? Like, I'm just doing what it takes. Like, I just need you to fuck me so that I can put you on to the next level. Like, I'm doing you a favor here. This guy's logic, this guy's a winner, man. Like, when he gets axed to death in this, I was not losing any sleep over it. I wasn't tearing up or anything. What a fucking asshole. You gotta screw me. You gotta screw me. It was just, I'm doing you a favor here. You sleeping with me is for you. That's some serious fucking logic there. I love it. And then, yeah, so they try to attack her because she's a witness, and because one of the people in their crew is the chick. She's the cop. And so the security guard comes out and tries to protect her. Of course, he can't hit anything. But a van can hit him, and he can't move out of the way. That van, when it hits, I've seen this a lot. I haven't seen it in a long time, though. I'm not going to lie. It's been a long time since I've seen this. Like, decade or more. Like, a long, long time. But regardless, when that van hits him against the elevator, I out loud was like, oh, fuck! Because it's just so impactful. Pun intended. But seriously, like, it hit, and it is solid. It legitimately feels like they ran a van into a dude. It's wild. I love it. It's so, so vicious. And then I like how she is like, all right, you got to go kill this girl while she's in the hospital. She's going to give you up. She's going to screw up our plans. And so she gives the sketch artist a, rendition of him, and so that they can put it out, which is a really shitty drawing, by the way. But in order to hide his appearance, he decides to just color his hair black and then slick it back, and then still walk through there looking like the angriest, scariest, biggest human being that's ever walked the face of the planet. Yeah, no one's gonna notice you, bro. No one's gonna notice you. Couldn't put a hat on and fucking, glasses and everything. He does grab someone's glasses. They're clear glasses. But he does grab someone's glasses. But it doesn't help much. It doesn't help much. He's fucking terrifying. And this whole hospital sequence. He comes into her room, stabs her pillow after he's looking for her. Sound familiar? Then he goes in and there's like a door in the way, and he gets a hole in it, and he's swiping at her, and it's like right by her face. That sound familiar? Halloween H2O by chance? But yeah, that whole sequence is just a very condensed, like, he's coming after a very specific woman, and he's killing people in the hospital around who are there to stop him, whatever. And then Cobretti is like rushing over there like Loomis to try to help her. And then he's even burned to death at the end. much like Halloween 2. So it's very, very similar. He even fucking looks like he's wearing a jumpsuit and his hair's all, kind of pulled back and he's got like this blank fucking face. Telling you, man. Telling you. Very, very similar. I like when Cobra shoots people that blood comes out. Like, that's something in action movies I can't stand, when people are just like, and the guys are just like, and they just fall over and there's nothing. There's no holes. There's no nothing. These guys, blood spraying out of them. It's great, man. Good stuff there. And then, let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Already talked about all that. Okay, so then we get into the car chase. And this is probably one of the dumbest scenes of the entire film. I still enjoy it. But you probably don't want to chase after these guys with her in the car like that and then jump the car like 15 times with her in the front seat. It would be like that scene in Death Proof with Rose McGowan when he just smashes her around in there and her face is just broken and she's dead. That was what she would look like. I see that they put the specific little rigs on there. He has those seatbelts so they can stay stationary for the most part inside the car. But dude, no way. It would break her neck. She'd be hitting her head on everything. They jump from the second story of a parking structure through like these barred fences or whatever, and he comes straight through. Of course, the car never nosedives in these movies. It always comes straight out. Whatever. He drives it straight out, and they just hit, and then they're jumping it over these bridges, over the bridges, through the house, and wait till grandmother's house we go, over the mountain, through the woods. But like over these bridges, and one, he goes so high over the bridge he hits the fucking like traffic light. But do you have any idea? The car would not survive one of those jumps, let alone 20 of them. But just doing that with her in the car. You're trying to save her life. That's like your whole purpose, is to protect her. And you take her on a shootout car chase where people are fucking firing guns right into your car right and left and you're jumping. This is so dumb. And honestly, this is another thing. Once she gives the sketch and she gives her testimony, I'm not really sure why they even bother anymore trying to get her. Like, yeah, I guess in one way they could be I want to get her because she ratted us out. But she tells him to go get her because she's going to ruin everything. How? Her witness testimony is already given. They have to catch the guy, right? So once that's already known, and she knows, the cop knows, what is he stopping by going to get her? It's the cat's out of the bag, man. Like, now you just got to not get yourself arrested. You got to just try to lay low or, whatever, or not care and just go out at night and kill like you're going to anyway. But that's so stupid to me. She gets to the cops. She tells them what happened, what he looks like, all that stuff. And then I guess, like, she has to finger him, right? That's what all of this is about. I guess. But I feel like at this point it's already over. It's already over, especially like once he comes into the hospital, and they'd have cameras, they'd have footage, they'd have fucking eyewitnesses that saw him, everything. It'd be over. There'd be no reason to try to kill her anymore. It would be pointless. So sending 100 guys for her and fighting this war against Cobra just makes no sense to me. But I don't care. It's an action movie. We gotta get all the baddies, and that's just it. And that's why there's got to be multiple villains in this movie, because for an action movie, for some slasher villain to go up against someone like Sylvester Stallone, it's a much different movie than when he goes up against Jamie Lee Curtis. It's a totally different film. You got to have all these other guys for Cobra to kill, because he would just kill Brian Thompson's character here in like 2 seconds. And that wouldn't make much of a movie. But whatever. For some reason, Sylvester Stallone's flirting in movies is always super awkward. It's kind of charming, but it's also super awkward. Like when he tries to bring her up the hamburger, that, and then same thing when he's trying to flirt with Adrian in Rocky and whatnot. It feels very similar. It's that like real childish humor, and then he like is very dismissive of it and almost self-deprecating. It's cute, but it's always like this is. I think this is how you probably really flirt in real life. And I'm assuming we're getting kind of a eagle eye view of his flirting tactics. He also fucks the woman that he's supposed to be protecting. I don't know if that's against any regulations or codes or anything, but Cobra doesn't care. He's a code rule breaker, so yeah, fuck the model. And he has to basically be talked into it. It's not like he's hitting on her. She's pushing it. She's like, come over here. All right. Why can't you be with anybody? Don't you want someone in your life? This and that. It's not him going after her at all. Although he is kind of flirting with her, but it's more of like I guess it's mostly just kind of joking around. But it's a little bit of flirtation. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. Of course, he's, like that dude in the parking structure said, I'd be crazy to not want to sleep with you. And unless you're Flavor Flav, I guess you ain't getting in there. I don't think they're together anymore, right? Anyway, yeah, I love how they have this huge shootout, and then she jumps into the truck and starts driving, and he's just standing up in the back of a truck as she's driving fast and swerving all over the place, and people are shooting at him. Of course, he never gets shot, and he never falls over until the end when she like slides the car, and then he jumps out and then just jumps right back in the car, no problem. But it's just so funny. The guy even gets in the back of the truck without Cobra even noticing. That is so silly. But I love it. And then he throws him over the hood, and the guy goes under the car and just runs his ass over. Great stuff. And then they get to the foundry, and this is where Cobretti starts to burn everyone alive. He sets so many people on fire in this fucking foundry. It's hilarious. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man. That's such a brutal way to die, but good. These guys deserve it. I'm all about it. It was interesting to me how many people he burned alive. And then there's another really dumb scene because Brian Thompson is the way he says pig in this, and like spittles coming off of his mouth every single time. He's like, fucking pig. And just, I love it. I love it. They're sweating so much in this scene. I feel like somebody just took a squirt bottle and just kept spraying him in the face in between each take. There's no way, man. It's just like pouring sweat. Like that freaking Jordan Peele gif that everyone sends where they're nervous and he's just like literally fucking pouring sweat. I love it. But yeah, it makes zero sense that he's banking on that Cobra won't shoot him. He's like, oh, you can't shoot me, pig. Even I have rights and this and that. And it's like, dude, Cobra literally just burned a couple of your guys alive. And he shot, 50 of your dudes like 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago? And you're telling me that he can't just put another bullet in you and say you weren't coming at him with that pig sticker in your hand? Really? You're banking on that? They'll call me insane, right? Whatever. Like, really? You're banking on that? He just killed everyone you know. Everyone you know. And he's like, you wouldn't shoot me. He is insane. He is insane. I fucking, I plea. I'll be the jury, and I'll be like, this dude's crazy. This dude's crazy. Put him away in an insane asylum because he didn't think he was going to shoot him. That is so stupid, but I love it. And then, yeah, I mean, he sticks him up on a hook, and then he gets burned to death. What this, like, hook and the, like, flames coming in, I don't even know what that could possibly be. Wouldn't the hook itself melt as well, whatever it was carrying in there? I don't know how those things work. Maybe I'm completely off base. Maybe that steel melts at a different temperature. I have no idea, but whatever it is, I don't care. He hooks him and he burns him, just like freaking Captain Howdy in Strangeland. Very similar death. And then he goes outside and he asks Art LaFleur for a new car, and he's like, "Sorry, man, it's outside the budget." It's like, so I guess he gets the hot chick, right? That's his compensation, and the probably like minimum wage that he's making to do the zombie shift or whatever. And then of course he punches the guy in the face and he rides off with the babe into the sunset while terrible fucking 80s music plays. The soundtrack in this is really bad. That's one thing about this film I really genuinely don't like, is just, and I guess you could look at that as like fun nostalgia of the 80s, but I just really don't like almost any song in this film. So it kind of does hurt the film a little bit in my opinion, but I still enjoy the hell out of it, and I still think that Brian Thompson is one of the more overlooked villains in film history, and hopefully hopefully you guys agree. Some of you guys agree that this has enough slasher elements to talk about it on Slasher Sunday. If anyone's still wondering why I haven't done Wolf Creek yet, it's just because October has been hammered with everything, not only films, but TV series, work, kids, all of it. And Wolf Creek, each season's 6 hours long or so. And it's just, yeah, I'm trying to cover every new film as it drops. So realistically, I probably won't get to the Wolf Creek series until November. So if anyone's wondering, still, I am trying to get to it. I have not forgot about it, and I still look forward to doing it when I can. But that's a big commitment, and one I can't honestly make at the moment. But regardless, I love this movie, and there's still some copies at Walmart for $12.96 or something if you want to try to catch this before it's out of print. I think they already stopped printing it, so whatever copies are out there, I think that's what's left. So anyway, guys,